Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 22 of Super Switchheads, the premier Nintendo podcast on all of the internet. My name is David Howe.
My name is Matthew Stoner.
My name is Patrick Knisley.
And we have a very special guest in tonight. Lee Howson is on the show tonight. How you doing, Lee?
Hey, I'm great. How is everyone?
Here, take
Thanks
an
for
applause.
having me.
Take an applause from just me. Okay, now
Yeah.
there we go. Oh, it's growing. It's growing. Okay, well, fuck it. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm not yet Mario Maker 2'd out.
Yeah.
You're in luck. I hope we'll be talking about it a lot today.
Yeah, we will be talking all about Super Mario Maker 2.
Yeah, it's been a game that definitely haven't quit out of since I turned it on, and then also my Switch hasn't been off for too long since it's been out as well. But we'll be talking about that throughout the show. We've also got some news items. We got some politics we're going to be discussing on the podcast. We're in our slow descent into a politics podcast. We've got some shareholders meeting notes that have come to light. We got some interesting comments from Game Freak. But first, let's do some shout outs. We have a couple shout outs, right, Patrick?
Yeah, AVK left a comment on our YouTube video. Appreciate that. They said great discussion on the roguelikes, our last episode, and they especially seem to like your exhibit joke, David.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's just an old meme, but it checks out.
And they are a big Dead Cells fan. Also looking forward to Spelunky 2, just like you.
Yeah.
So thanks for the comment.
What's up, AVK?
Also, we want to shout out to I Am Sad Ducky, who follows us on Instagram. Do you have something to add to that, Matthew? You looked like you smiled.
Well, I was just looking up and confirming that his name is I Am Sad Ducky.
I Am Sad Ducky. Yeah.
Thank you for commenting and listening.
Yeah, post engagement is through the roof with I Am Sad Ducky, and we love it. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
We see you. We see you out here in Switchheads land.
Hey, David, do you want to talk about this first item, the news item? Because I think just because of the name of our podcast kind of flows from this, and it's kind of sad news. So
yeah, it's the sad. We'll do the sad thing and then try to do an impossible segue out into the news from the week that is gaming related. Unfortunately, and this happened pretty much right after our last episode. We recorded our last episode, so we didn't have a chance to talk about it on the show. But Etika, a popular YouTube streamer, I was a big fan of, also known as Desmond Amofa.
Yeah.
Passed away recently, and on I guess Tuesday.
Young guy too.
Yeah, young guy. He was 29. He'd been a popular YouTuber. If you didn't know him, you probably did. He had a flat top, and he would just lose his fucking mind to Smash Brothers reveals.
He would
basically
lose his and break all the stuff around him.
Yeah. The most recent one, during the Everyone Is Here trailer for Smash Brothers at E3, whenever he saw Snake, he just it started with Ice Climbers. He was like, "Whoa, Ice Climbers, fucking Ice Climbers!" And he just slams his table, and you see it start to buckle, but he doesn't notice anything is broken. And then whenever he sees Snake and it says "Everyone Is Here," he just lost his mind, and his hand just went through the table. He was a crazy guy. Eventually, started wearing heart monitors just so people could see live how excited he was getting during Nintendo Directs. He was the bad boy in Nintendo. He was the founder of the Joy-Con Boys. That was kind of his crew. His fans are kind of known as the Joy-Con Boys.
Spelled with a Z?
With a Z, yeah. And actually, whenever we started this Facebook group that turned into this podcast, we were originally called Switch Boys because Joy-Con Boys was already taken, but I was a big fan of Etika.
Which transformed into Switch Boys and Girls.
Switch Boys and Girls, but then that was really long, and we wanted something
gender
non-binary.
Non-gendered.
So we switched to Switch Heads. But
by vote, also, we took a poll, I believe.
Yeah, we took a vote. It was very democratic. That's how we got to this point. But yeah, Etika was filled with fucking life and struggled a lot towards the end of his life. Had several kind of psychotic episodes and was dealing with mental health issues quite a bit. And it's just really sad to see somebody so young go and feel like they don't have a community when they clearly do. You know what I mean? So basically, I just wanted to pour one out for Etika. I love the Joy-Con God. As crazy as he was so entertaining to watch, and he clearly loved life as much as he could. That's what he showed us every day. So I guess if you're feeling like you have nobody to talk to, you always do, pretty much, is the answer to that. And I guess that's kind of just what I wanted to say about that. We're going to miss you, Etika. Sometimes it just doesn't even seem real that he's gone.
Yeah, I think sometimes gaming can be a lonely hobby. I think especially now, gaming's become more popular thanks to esports and Twitch streams. But I can remember being shamed for gaming. I've been shamed throughout the years. So if you're out there listening, definitely reach out to a friend or someone who cares about you, or call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Even if you don't know like a bunch of close friends, there's always somebody who's willing to talk to you. You know what I mean? And if you don't know Etika, seriously, go on fucking YouTube.
Yeah.
There's like, since he died, there's been like 20, like 40-minute long compilations of him just acting like a fucking doofus and like saying such stupid, amazing, hilarious shit. Check it out and watch his reaction videos. Like,
I saw a good mashup of all the Smash reactions.
Yeah. He was a bright spot on the internet, and we're sorry to see him go. But anyway, let's transition into something.
So GDQ, which we've been talking about the last couple of weeks, Games Done Quick, the Summer Games Done Quick, just finished up. And they raised over $3 million.
That's fucking crazy.
If you want the exact figure, it's $3,035,014.12.
Yeah.
So that's nuts.
Yeah.
But that's great. I think that increases on their last one too, which I think they've steadily seemed to do. But any highlights that any of y'all watched from the, because we talked about it last week, but it had kind of only just begun. I really enjoyed watching teaser of what's to come. Some of the Mario relays, like the Super Mario World ROM hack relay.
Yeah, the Kaizo Mario
was a lot
hacks.
of fun. And then the Mario Bros. 3 all whistle speed run, I think it was.
Yeah, it was a race. It was like four-player race.
Yeah, 4-player race. I really like those.
That was so fun.
I also really like Pokemon Crystal.
That was hilarious.
There was a lot of comedy in that one. And I don't like Pokemon that much.
Well, the crazy thing about the Pokemon Crystal one was like, at one point, one of the people on the couch off the cuff was like, my favorite Pokemon is Gengar. He's number 94. Everybody donate 94 for Gengar in the chat. And then
that was a very funny moment.
So then a bunch of people started donating $94. Like a bunch of people started donating $94 at once for Gengar. But then people started donating like $797 for some Pokemon from Gen 8. And it was just like, holy shit. And it was just nonstop. Like they raised like, it was like $300,000.
It was a good run. I enjoyed watching that one.
during that run.
I watched the blindfolded Super Punch Out for
Wii, right?
Nintendo Wii, and it was incredible. Fosito James was saying that he had a hard time watching it because it was like he made him so nervous that you could
just gonna fuck up.
Yeah, he's gonna fuck up. But there's something satisfying about watching someone play Punch Out. It's like the sound effects. I don't know. I enjoyed it.
It's a sound cues heavy game.
Yeah,
that game has a very strong blindfolded like community or whatever.
Yeah,
it's weird. It does. I've seen stuff about that game being blindfolded in particular. I feel
because the characters always typically have the same patterns. There are some fighters that don't have the same patterns or might mix up patterns. Yeah, but it's a probability at that point.
Yeah. Did you see any GDQ this summer?
No. I suck, but now that you guys are talking about it, I think I'm going to go back and try to check it out.
Check it out. They cut up all the runs individually on YouTube, and you can watch them all after they're done. I will say the whole task section was amazing. The tool-assisted speedrun categories. There was like a task version of Tetris for the NES that was just mesmerizing. It wasn't even really about speed. It was just about like flaunting cool shit.
It was.
The way it like manipulated the randomness of Tetris was insane. And definitely check that out. And then one last thing I did want to say was like, I didn't think they were going to make the goal this year because it was like Saturday and it ended on Sunday and they were at $1.5 million. But then at the end of Saturday and then Sunday, or I guess Friday and Saturday, they raised $1.5 million. Yeah. It's just fucking insane. Like every time I think that they're not gonna be able to outdo themselves, they do. And good on you.
Cool. So some other news. Matt, I'm gonna let you lead this one. Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo kind of joined forces on something. You've been sharing a lot of these links. You want to talk about this one?
Yeah, this is how we start into a politics podcast. Yeah. This is the beginning of it.
This is CNN.
Hello, my name is Matthew. And this is CNN. It's going to do the same bit. Trump was threatening 25% taxes on Type 4 goods, imported goods, which are toys, board games, and since we're a Nintendo podcast, video game consoles. So Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft all joined to write this letter towards the Trump administration to say that if there are tariffs on products, then sales will go down and it will increase prices.
Something he just fundamentally doesn't understand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Seems to be the case.
But this morning, it no longer is happening.
They've kind of put it, or he is suspended at least for now, right?
Yeah, at least for now.
And I've also read that level 4 or whatever they call it includes other things too, and including like clothing and sneakers and stuff. And so I think I read something about J.C. Penney writing something too. So it was like it would have really hit a lot of industries pretty hard.
The already like struggling retail
If
industry.
you're exactly, I think that was the big thing is brick and mortar stores are already having a hard time.
Yeah, exactly.
And if their costs or, the price of things goes up 25%, that's
Right.
nuts.
I think it's something that we've also been seeing a trend of recently, and we've been talking about on this podcast since day one, which is just like these companies that have historically been so at odds with each other working together. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just
that's
another example of that.
Yeah,
and this time even Sony got involved, and like they've been so exclusive. But I mean, I guess it's just common sense. You don't want to lose money.
And Matt shared this with us, and if you want to go out there, you can read the actual letter written by the general counsel or some of the lawyers at these companies that they all wrote together. I read it. It was pretty interesting. You can find a link to it on like the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative where they filed it. So.
I have that bookmarked. One of my go-to sites.
Yeah, it's my homepage.
It's like that, LinkedIn, and Pornhub.
It's a great read. Yeah, bedtime read.
Okay, thanks, guys. If you're going to read something, you might want to read Famitsu, the Japanese publication where Masahiro Sakurai writes a column monthly, and he wrote a column this time, thanks to Nintendo Everything for translating it, about getting the Hero and Banjo in Smash. Did any of y'all read this?
I missed this one.
Oh, well, it's not like it's groundbreaking information, but I think it gives us a chance to talk about the Hero a little bit, because it kind of, we haven't talked about this since right after we saw the E3 trailer, and he cleared up some things that I think we had already kind of figured out, but we haven't talked about it. So there's 4 costumes for the Hero.
Okay.
And the picture where we see all 6 or 7 of them is the final Smash. So there's
Right.
going to be 4 different costumes. And the thing that I found the most interesting is he talks about the sort of menu attacks, because I'm guessing it's their Bs or their side Bs or something.
Yeah, they're like
where you
scroll
pull up
through
a menu. And he says in this article, again translated, so who knows exactly, that it's random, because they showed them in the trailer doing attacks that aren't always in the menu. So it was kind of like, what's the deal? Do different ones have different attacks? But it sounds like it's somewhat random.
So I guess it's like Game & Watch's Hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something like that.
And maybe it's random, but depends on the situation, or maybe it's 100% random, or maybe, I don't know
Right.
if there's some sort of, randomness to the randomness or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of cool as long as they're all as long as they Game & Watch's Hammer works because it at least hits them every time.
Yeah, it's
You
a
know what I
close
mean?
range attack every single time.
Yeah. And then it has some sort of effect that's added onto it. If this was like one of them makes you stop the person and one of them makes you send them way
Right.
back, that would just make him really hard to plan for, I would think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
I
it'll be like, is it one defensive, one offensive, one,
Right,
movement
right.
based or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But it was the best insight we've gotten into that.
Well,
so
we'll be
far.
seeing that soon, right? That's supposed to still release in the
Oh,
summer.
they've said summer, so yeah.
So
Next
I'm
couple months.
not like a hardcore player for Smash. I'm like pretty casual, but I'm just wondering for the hardcore players out there that choose to main the Hero, if it's going to be like fun or like randomly frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems it's just a little nugget, and I also sometimes I feel like words like that get confused in Japanese
Sure.
to English.
Yeah.
So maybe random is not exactly. I don't know.
Maybe he's saying random, like it's so random.
that's what I think it is. You're
Oh my
right.
god!
David cracked the
OMG,
code.
Hero is so random.
Nintendo had a big shareholders meeting, and there was a lot of interesting stuff that was asked about this time, and that they, of course, slightly dodged, but we're going to talk about it anyway. They were, of course, asked about these hardware revisions and the rumors of the mini Switch, and they acknowledged that for the first time. But they said something to the effect of, "We're always working on hardware, but something to the, I don't have the exact quote in front of me." about how it would ruin the surprise, or they don't
Yeah.
want to say anything, which is the most we've gotten of a confirmation.
Basically, they're just saying what everybody's thinking, which is they're not announcing this thing way in advance because then nobody would buy Switches for that
Right.
month or whatever that they know about it.
And we're tired of talking about these, but yet another retailer posted a Switch Mini thing.
Okay.
So anyway, they also were asked about if more games coming to the online, and they said that they're considering more things beyond a Nintendo Entertainment System NES games. So again, we suspect that. Another hint towards it.
It's such like a frustratingly nothing answer.
I know.
like because especially after we
Considering
saw
it.
the games in the code, like from the they
Back in
found the
January.
games in the code. They found like descriptions for them translated already into a bunch of languages, and now they're like, we're thinking about it. It's like, dude, come on, just say it's coming.
You know, it's something we haven't.
Get me to renew if you say it's coming.
It's something we haven't openly talked about, but Nintendo has the same sort of strategy as like Disney, where they like try to hold on to their
The
things,
Nintendo Vault.
and then put them out every once in a while to like make them seem scarce. And this is just another case of that.
So, like, back with the Wii, with the Virtual Console, like, how long did it take for that to come out after
It was
the console
day
came
one.
out?
Like, I mean, not everything day one, but they had it day one, and they would
Yeah.
put out new stuff every single week.
I wonder what changed.
I don't know. That's the question, Lee.
Yeah, I think it's a
May-
matter of time,
I
honestly.
think it might. I mean, honestly, like I was looking at timelines of some different stuff, like, and I was looking at also timelines of backwards compatibility, like which the Switch ended, which started with the GameCube into the Wii, right? And I think all of them kind of sync up with Iwata being president. You know what I mean? And when he passed away, I think like that's where a lot of this stuff started to change. I think he was the big proponent. I feel like he had to have been the big proponent of the Virtual Console and backwards compatibility and being like, these people already have these games. Let's give them a way to play them. You know what I mean? And I think now Nintendo is a little bit more like sitting on their pot of gold.
Yeah.
Now that, which makes more sense from a business perspective, but it's like just a bit of a shame that the kind of heart of Iwata seems to no longer be in the business.
well,
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it just feels like the infrastructure is not there to support the streaming service for more titles.
Right.
Because Virtual Console games from Wii to Wii U, you had to rebuy those on the Wii U, right?
Yeah, but you could
Is
do
there
it
some
for
small
cheaper. It was
fee?
like $1 or something.
Yeah.
to do
So,
it.
so that
To
tells
basically
me
get the
that
license.
the systems couldn't necessarily communicate with each other. It wasn't like a centralized database that said, "Hey, Patrick, you bought
right.
Link to the Past."
Like Microsoft has kind of.
Right, like any other modern OS.
Yeah. Some slightly good news, I guess, coming out of this is they reaffirmed that they will not censor third-party games, and they will let, I guess, the market decide that, or I don't know. They said something to the not they didn't say that, but something to the effect of they don't want to censor third-party games.
That's good.
Though they
Like, what does that? What does that mean?
That's
means-
another Iwata change. Like Iwata would have censored those games.
It's like boobies.
Yeah, exactly. All those games like Dead or Alive or whatever, where maybe Sony might put a different costume on a woman.
They changed the title of
or-
some games like on their platform because they were deemed as like offensive to some people. Sony did, and Nintendo just like lets it on. Yeah,
It's a
So
weird flip.
It's totally flipped.
And also, it's weird because Nintendo is cool with that, but won't let us send messages on the Switch. And a lot of people say that's because of they don't want people to send inappropriate message to people. But
Yeah.
you can go buy Panty Hunter or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Panty Demon. 69.
So I guess that's kind of a good thing. I don't think games should be censored necessarily. Another topic for another day, but
I'm putting together a picture of all the summer releases for Switch, and there's a game coming in August called Omega Labyrinth Life. And the Omega is like the Omega symbol, but there's a woman on top of the Omega, and the Omega symbol are her boobs.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
that's fucking tight, dude.
yeah, it's weird.
Last little thing on this, they
whatever.
also said that they're still doing the quality of life products. That
Weird.
They're still in development.
That's weird.
So we know that they had been making like a sleep tracker a long time ago, and this
Why?
is also
Why are they doing that?
also confirmed that is not Pokemon Sleep. That's totally by the Pokemon company or whatever. So we don't know what that is, but they're still working on these weird
Next big trend in video games. Pokemon,
monitoring your
Nintendo,
heart.
I don't know. They canceled it 10 years ago. I don't see why anybody's going to want it more now. Like, no one's going to buy the Switch Vitality sensor. I mean, leave it within the Wii grave where it is.
Where's the Switch Fit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised there isn't something. I guess there's that boxing game.
Yeah, there's that boxing game. We should probably
moving on real quick. Just want to let everybody know, follow up on something we talked about before. What Remains of Edith Finch was announced for the Switch. Hey, that tweet we talked about a couple weeks ago, they were legitimately hinting at it. It's
coming.
So that's coming out. Another game that just came out for the Switch is called Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. David, you want to talk about this one? We were talking about it before the show.
Yeah, sure. I just want to say at the top, I still haven't played Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, but I've been following this story quite a bit. It was originally Bloodstained was a Kickstarter game, and it released on PS4 and Xbox last week, I think, or was it PC? And I think it was PS4 and Xbox, and PC. But anyway, then the following week, the Switch port came out. And basically, originally the port was supposed to be a Wii U port. That was what was on the Kickstarter, but then the game took so long, the Wii U died, and the Switch came out. They're like, all right, it's for Switch now. The Switch release is playable, but apparently massively buggy. It crashes a lot. The textures look awful. Like, there's just it's really badly optimized, and it can dip down to like 15 frames per second sometimes. And so that was a bummer, right? Especially for people that had just seen all this footage from the PS4 and Xbox versions. In fact, the Switch page had screenshots from the PS4 on it, which is
always frustrating.
Big no-no. I think it just shows how much they were cramming it in at the last second. You know what I mean? Either way, another story came out basically saying that Bloodstained sold more on Switch than the PS4 and Xbox versions combined. So basically, even though it's a buggy, broken mess, I guess the majority of people had pre-ordered it or whatever. The Switch is where people want to play these kinds of games, right? And that's been showing in the market. And I think this is a big wake-up call, honestly, for a lot of people that have like counted on indie support on their systems and for their platforms. And so I think also this should really show like you should be putting a lot more energy into your Switch ports early on.
But doesn't that kind of suck because it's sold so well for the Switch at the same time? But you know what I mean? Like there's the flip argument of like, well, they made their money.
Yeah, but I think that has way more to do with the fact that it was a big buzzworthy Kickstarter project, right? I think that game was probably massively pre-ordered, compared to a lot of indie games, But I think it's just if you know that it's going to be the most popular platform, like maybe develop around the other consoles later, or at least optimize for the lower platform. That's what I think.
And this is a Nintendo podcast.
Yeah, this is, after all, a Nintendo podcast.
Game Freak put out a statement in response to all the fan outcry
This
about
is weird.
Pokemon.
Yeah, this is super weird.
And I'm not going to read it exactly. I'm just going to summarize it by saying, we hear you, and we're not changing anything.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's kind of what I took away from it. I think it's nice that they. I know a lot of people are like they should. It's just making more people angry. But I think that if you aren't going to change anything, it's also kind of nice to just say we hear you. I don't know. To me, I get it more. Yeah. I'm not a big Pokemon person. Period. I also don't have Pokemon Home or Pokemon Bank, so I don't care.
Right.
And it kind of makes sense to me that at some point maybe the best thing for Pokemon isn't having 1,000 Pokemon in every game,
mm-hmm.
but I understand that people who have invested all that time are upset, and I get why. So I don't. Do y'all have any thoughts on any of this?
Yeah, he just said a little thing in it where he's like, "Don't worry, there will be Pokemon that aren't in Pokemon Sword and Shield in future Pokemon games."
Right.
And I was like Pokemon Ultra Sword and Ultra Shield, you motherfuckers! I couldn't help but put that together.
That would be annoying.
Yeah. Well, that's all I have to say about that.
That's what we're gonna get, though.
Yeah, probably.
Lee, are you a Pokemon fan?
Yeah, you know what? I haven't played the last 2 or 3 games. It kind of becomes blurry, right? I recognize some of the more recent ones, but I don't know if it's because they just show up in Smash or some other place.
Right.
I'm. When they started adding 100 per game after the second, after the first game, the second game was another 100, the third game was another 100. I'm like, man, they're adding a lot each game. They could get away with adding maybe 30 per game. Why are they adding so many?
Yeah. They should take a time machine and just add a few each game.
Yeah. Just
focus on them.
Just put some of the Pokemon down.
I guess what also bothers people is that the game doesn't. It's not like it looks bad, but it doesn't look amazing. And it's like, well, what are you putting your resources resources into, then you know what
Yeah.
I mean. So I get it. I get
they're
the
pouring
criticism.
heart and soul into it. Is
Yeah.
what it said,
and I'm
So,
sure they are working really hard.
Yeah,
But
I think it looks great. I'm still gonna get it.
I mean, they're pouring heart and soul, but definitely not sun or moon.
But heart gold. No, it is heart gold and soul silver.
I want them to put Ultra Soul.
Ultra soul and ultra heart. Shit. Yeah, we're just having fun today.
quick news. The 5th Tetris Maximus Cup is coming. Tetris 99 Maximus Cup, I should say, which is a weird crossover with Splatoon.
Yes.
You can unlock the Splatoon 2 theme for... I'm kind of surprised we're getting this before we get like an NES theme or something, you know what I mean?
I think it's just Smash is doing Splatoon
Everybody's
Spirits
doing a
event
Splatoon.
as well. It's basically the end. It's like a big celebration for the end of Splatoon, right? Because this
yeah.
is going to be like the end of the online. It's not the end of. You can still play,
Right. The
but
end
it's
of the online support.
Exactly. So I think they just want everybody to be like, and these are all happening before that happens. So I think they're just doing this to be like, hey, everybody remember to play the Splatfest this weekend.
I'm really curious what this Splatoon 2 theme will look like.
I bet it'll have ink splatters on it.
That's a good guess.
Yeah. Also, Tetris news. Tetris Royale got announced. Did you guys see this?
No, tell us about this.
Yeah, it's
Is that not Tetris 99?
It's Tetris 99, but not Tetris 99. But it's the same game for other smartphones and other
for
systems.
smartphones. Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Just the same concept, but it looks different. It's like different style.
I wonder
But
if it
it's the
has
same
all
concept.
the same attacking and all that, or we don't know.
We don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Nintendo's gonna be like, dude, what the fuck, man? We were the one-stop shop for Tetris Royale.
Also on
Is Nintendo working on that, or is that just the Tetris company?
Tetris Company.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Also in mobile game news, Dr. Mario World had a multiplayer trailer that dropped today, the day we're recording this, that is, which showed that you can do online real-time battles with your friends.
Awesome.
And that different characters have different abilities. Dr. Bowser is defensive or whatever. And
Well, he gets defensive when you put him down.
So long, Gay Bowser.
Wait. Dr. Bowser? Was he in the previous Dr. Mario game?
Everyone
That's
is a
amazing.
doctor in this game.
Everyone's
Like, literally.
a doctor.
Yeah. Everyone's a doctor in this game. Peach is a doctor. Yoshi is a doctor.
Though it's funny because they showed Yoshi and he has like a badge and not a white coat. Did you see that?
No,
Like,
I didn't
So
see
the
that.
images for and like Wendy
Well, how
is
do you
a doctor.
how do you put a jacket on?
and Morton
Yoshi?
is a doctor.
How do you do that? Would you
That's a
drape it
good
over his
call.
tail?
Wait,
I
he
think
has
It would just be like
arms.
open. He would be completely
You,
exposed.
you make a hole for the tail.
I don't know.
I'm questioning the medical licenses of all these
I agree.
games.
Yeah.
I'm fiercely against Yoshi being a doctor.
But Bowser is okay. He's evil.
Yoshi, Bowser is a grown man. Okay, he can do whatever he wants.
Speaking of grown man, Super Mario Maker 2 is here, y'all.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, let's move on to the
Let's move
topic.
on. So real quickly, Mario Maker, the first one, came out in September 2015 on the Wii U, and then there was a 3DS version came out December 2016. And earlier this year, we got the announcement that in February that Mario Maker 2 was coming out this June, which was kind of out of nowhere for everybody. And here we are. It came out June 28th, last Friday. Before we get into any specifics, just initial, how do we feel about it? We love it.
It's amazing.
We like it. We love it.
We love it. I love it.
We love
I
it.
can't speak for you guys, but I can't stop playing it. I'm completely addicted.
Same.
I'm as addicted as I predicted I would be.
I did not play the first one,
me
Super
either.
Mario Maker. But knowing that this one had a story mode, and did the first one also have endless course?
No, it had 100 Mario challenge where you would have 100 lives in order to beat 16 levels.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which we should talk about at some point because I do want to. Because I kind of miss. I never played the first one, but
we can
we'll
get into the
that in a
differences
little
in
bit.
just a little bit. But as far as like initial reactions, like
Yeah.
did you play the Wii U version, Lee?
I never played either the Wii U or the 3DS
Right.
version. I don't know. I mean, I like games where you build stuff, but I didn't have a 3DS and I didn't have a Wii U. I kind of, I had a Wii and I kind of skipped those. So, I mean, I probably would have gotten it if I had one of those
Right.
consoles.
Yeah. But it's like, I guess the thing that a lot of people think about it, right, is that it's like, it's like Minecraft or something where you're like building the whole time and you have to be very creative. But the game, I feel like, is so much more about just playing an infinite number of Mario levels.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and I think if they could just lead with that, you know what I mean? But I think people are excited about it. I think it's going to sell like fucking.
Yeah, it
hotcakes.
seems like everybody's excited about it. And one thing, like I was really excited when the first Mario Maker came out. I didn't have a Wii U, but I remember watching the trailers and be like, dang, that looks awesome. It made me want to get a Wii U, but I didn't. So I'm super pumped about this. And Lee, I expect you like to make, like, one of the reasons we thought you might be a good guess is you made a lot of Smash stages and stuff. Were you excited about this game, or were you?
Sort of at the back of my head, I was like, you know, let's see how it goes.
Right.
Because like with the Smash levels, they're a lot of fun, but there's kind of like limits, and you know, it can kind of be frustrating. But I was cautiously optimistic.
Gotcha.
And but like, yeah, I got it like day one and was like immediately spent an entire day like making a course and had great fun with it. Before like playing anybody else's levels, I was like, I don't want to be tainted. I'm just gonna make a course. Oh, they have carts. I'm gonna make a cart levels. I basically
Your
made
cart
like a
level
song.
is awesome.
Yeah, and
by the way.
it's you went straight for 3D World as well, which is the new style.
Right,
that wasn't in the old one. And that's
right.
got its own like tools and stuff like that aren't in the other ones.
Yeah, I essentially am like originally like a Sonic person. I didn't play a lot of old school Mario.
Your level feels like a Sonic.
So,
level.
yeah, exactly. I was
It's
kinda
big
like-
and wide and
I
like goes
can see
fast.
that,
I
yeah.
want it to go fast. I want things to kind of happen automatically as you
Yeah.
go along it.
You
So,
even have
yeah,
like
that's
different
my
paths and
inspiration.
stuff too, like Sonic.
Oh yeah, like the upper and the lower.
I never really
path.
put that together.
I didn't
It was
either,
like
but that's a good
Sonic.
call.
Until you
Yeah,
said that.
that's exactly it. And then you know, I was kind of like, okay, I spent a whole day making this level. Let's play other people's levels, and it's just blown me away the number of like different cool things that people have put in. And I'm just like making a list. Okay, I need a level that has like all these 6 things from these 6 different levels. So make a compilation level, greatest hits.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to note is that the main developer of this game, Takashi Takuza, said a couple of things recently. He talked about how this started as an internal tool, which I thought was really interesting.
Oh yeah.
And that he also wondered if it's okay to give away all the company's level design secrets. This was an article on The Verge, interview with him if you want to read it. Because there is a like tutorial mode, which I haven't gotten deep into, but it's apparently very good. Did any of y'all?
Yeah, it stars Yamamura the pigeon, I believe.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
pigeon and a girl.
Yamamura the pigeon is like a master of level design. And he knows exactly what makes a level fun and what makes it frustrating. And he's a bird worth listening to.
Yeah, so the tutorials are pretty good, apparently. So there's you mentioned this, Matthew. What did you two jump into first? Did y'all jump into story mode or into?
I jumped
creating
into
levels?
story mode because I knew if I didn't start story mode, I would never get to it. And I'm 9% through.
9%, nice.
Oh, you're 90% through, really?
9.
Oh, okay.
There's no 0 after that.
Yeah,
9.
yeah. My
Just
bad.
9, then a percent symbol.
I've got a lot of earwax.
Oh yeah. Just to kind of give an idea of how Nintendo thinks I should design levels,
Right.
or how Nintendo designed levels, to kind of get that idea before I jump online and start seeing the crazy shit that people create.
It's even, I mean, I haven't really sat through the tutorials too much, right? Like I did the very first one because I was like, oh, I should probably watch all this stuff, but then I just got really anxious to play.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
But that having been said, the story mode does kind of act as its own tutorial.
Right.
It's just like showcasing all the shit you can do. Right.
Eases you into it.
Yeah, and even the story mode like doesn't feel like traditional Mario levels.
Right.
You know, they feel like what you might find online, like using these items in creative ways already, right? That having been said, Matt, I am kind of holding off on some of the story mode. I want to play more of it, but then I also like want to save story mode for when I have my Switch on the go, when I
Yeah,
don't have like Wi-Fi.
offline.
You know what I mean? Because
That
it's
makes
like
sense.
because like going and downloading all the levels to play offline later just takes too long and is very clunky. And so it's like, so I'd much rather just play it straight from the menu and then save those levels for like when I'm out and about. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, let's talk about playing levels then. So you can find levels. So there's like Course Bot, and there's Course World.
Right. CourseBot is all the downloaded and saved levels and the levels that you've made.
And Course World is where you go to find either you can also insert a code. Each level is assigned a unique code. So have you guys been mostly, one good thing about, hey, if you're out there and you want to play this game, on our Facebook page, we're exchanging all the codes.
In the Facebook
for
group.
the Facebook group, rather, we're exchanging all the codes of all the levels everybody's making, and everybody's playing each other's levels. So that's a nice little community thing.
That's been amazing. That's something that didn't exist with the Wii U because nobody had a fucking Wii U. And it's like now we've got a group with like all our friends that have Switches, and they're all making levels, and I get to play all my friends' levels, and it's so much fucking fun, man.
If this was on Wii U, it'd be like level sharing mega thread.
Yeah.
It would be you.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's like I just didn't have a social life with
Right.
the Wii U. There was no social aspect to the Wii U because nobody had it. And it's like, this is such a social sharing game. It was fun on the Wii U because I was downloading random crazy batshit levels, and that was still fun. But like having other people play my levels and like watch them play my levels, and I watched Chris McKeever and Chaz Formicello play my level on stream. That was so fucking cool.
Same.
Well,
That was
you
like
saw
the
it too,
coolest
right?
experience.
Let's give a shout out to them real quick. 2 Kids in a Big Code on Twitch. They are doing co-op streaming of Mario Maker 2 on Friday nights, it looks like. So go check that out. They played your level too, right, Lee?
Yeah, that's right.
They
And
totally, because they were playing it co-op, it broke
co-op
your
was
level.
interesting. I didn't, I forgot that people could even play co-op.
Yeah.
And they broke my level a little bit, but I mean, it was interesting because I got to see what would people do if they completely ignore the car?
The car, yeah.
And you know what? I mean, they can
worked.
get through the level just fine. I mean, when it gets to the underwater part, you can swim through the level. I mean, because Mario doesn't ever run out of breath for some reason.
Yeah, he's not Sonic in that regard.
Which I totally thought would happen. And then as I was testing, I was like, oh, there's no timer.
He's got gills.
Or I was like, oh, okay, I can design this level a little different and have it have low gravity mechanics and stuff.
Right.
I'm glad I
implemented.
played your level before I watched. I wasn't able to watch them stream. I watched their, their VOD, but I was glad I played your level first because I got to experience it the way it was supposed to be, and I think that would have spoiled it for me.
Yeah, I was wondering how intuitive it was because seeing
It's
them,
super intuitive.
That's what I thought. But
not when you have a second person who can't get in the car.
I got a little lost honestly the first time I played your level,
Okay.
but that's because I'm also used to playing levels in a different way. You know what I mean? I could tell that you came in from a different sort of perspective.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so it was but that's kind of the beauty of it. It's my first level I made was I just kind of threw a bunch of shit down and I beat it fairly easily, and then I didn't really realize that it was really hard.
It was really hard.
Yeah. But then it was watching. I went to a party last night, my friend's birthday party, and some people played my level, and I was just watching them struggle so much, and it was oh shit! You really learn a lot. It's I wish there was a tool that you could unlist your level and just share it with your friends so they can play test it and then get back to you before you publish. Because once you publish, that's it. If you put a revision up, you lose all your views and likes and comments and all that stuff. So
I had the same thought, and that ties into one of the things we'll talk about, which is kind of the online element. I wish there was a way to privately send your level to somebody or something, and just let them play test it or something.
Having a modicum of testing goes a
And
long
watch
way.
people play it too,
Yeah.
or at least
That would be nice too.
You know how when you're building a level and you're doing the playtest yourself, you can have the Mario silhouette show up where it went. At least that, if you can't do a full video.
Some
But
sort of.
I mean, Smash does it fine, and their replays are nothing. You're basically saving input data in RNG, right? That's all you're really tracking. As long as you can track that, obviously those replays probably wouldn't work after they balanced the game if they did that like they do with Smash, but it's it shouldn't be too hard to at least have the world record holders, ghost on there, for your level, right?
And I know in the first Mario Maker they did make some changes which invalidated some levels. As I recall, there was
they added
they
items and
patched
stuff,
in some stuff that changed. There was a thing you could do with if you got a mushroom, it gave you some invincibility briefly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I wonder if that. Well, we'll talk about that. What the future of the game leads to. Go ahead, David. What do you got?
Can we talk about just the making process? Because all four of us have made levels now, right? And I've actually played all of your levels. I think have we all played all of our levels?
I haven't played your level yet, Matt.
Okay, Matt's level is awesome.
I bet. I
And
saw
you should maybe
the
close
link.
your ears at points because I kind of don't want to spoil it for you.
Yeah. But we can spoil it. It's fine.
You're gonna have to. I think
It's a little artsy.
that sounded really cool. I
it's
saw
very
the
avant-garde.
discussion.
Okay, podcast listeners, you know, like you can pause, play the game, come back.
Yeah, we'll do a timestamp or no, I don't know. Well, we won't do a fucking timestamp.
I played. I'm trying to think the order of events. I played Lee's level, and I didn't get the Sonic connection until you said it right now. But it totally makes sense based on just where you put some of the platforms and some of the levels and the directions that the character might go. And then I played Endless and Story, and then a series of online games. But the way that my mind works is that I wanted to create something a little bit, not necessarily a challenging game, but more of like a story. And I like ARGs, and ARGs are alternate reality games.
Yeah.
So something like alternate reality game you might do is you might go to some place like a library, and then you go online and then you play an audio track at the library, and it tells you the story of the library.
Yeah, and
So
oftentimes it's like advertising for a movie or a TV show or something.
right, exactly. Yeah, like
yeah.
Halo Halo 2 had a really big ARG, like I Love Bees, like maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That
Binding of Isaac had a huge one.
yeah, you just like follow the trail. And so that's what my approach was. Lee and I designed it on Saturday. We bought 30 wings. And
We did, and we almost got through all of them.
Essential to the creative process. Right?
yeah, totally. Yeah. We almost got through them. And then, so in my level, it just like gives you a message, and then there's not a way to like play audio. So I literally have a URL spelled out in blocks.
In blocks.
Yeah. As you're going under it on like a little elevator, the elevator skull things or escalator skulls or whatever. It's like, it spells out tiny URL / blah, 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 blah. And I went to it on my phone and like listened to it as I was playing the rest of the level. And it was like so fucking moody, dude. It
Yeah.
like really helped. Like that was the moodiest stage
Did
I've
you
yet played.
come up with that idea?
Yeah.
That's awesome idea.
Yeah.
I hope that takes off.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so cool. I've never seen like any level on any kind. I mean, not just Mario Maker, but like any kind of like fan made like game like that before.
Yeah.
amazing.
Create like a story for the level. That was the idea.
It's funny because in the Wii U version, you could use the Wii U's mic on the gamepad to add in audio to your level.
Oh my God. That'd be amazing.
So you could be like I did a bit with Rob, or I think we talked about this last week.
I don't think we actually
maybe not
talked
on the
about
show.
it. Not on the show.
But either way, he does a comedy show called Sandbox, and I did this bit where I was like this French artist, but my art was Mario Maker levels basically. And so I came on and like did all these like really high concept, like fucking very like pretentious art pieces. But like one of them, like whenever you die, this little bird comes up and it's like, life is ultimately meaningless. You know what I mean? It's like stuff like that was so fun to throw in.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is a cool way to get around it, and it's totally unexpected. Like it really threw me when that
That's
popped
cool.
up. You know, and again, like it reminded me of like BioShock, where you're playing and you pick up the little audio diaries or whatever, and you keep playing as the audio is playing, and you're getting some of the story. And so it was like in that way, I just thought you really nailed
I
that.
want to know how easy was it to work out the puzzle from the audio.
I did
clips?
not need the audio at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You just
I mean,
bounce around.
But what it did was give context for the thing. I mean, you said something about like the key, right? Getting the key.
Yeah.
But it was like, but I also like saw the key door like before that.
Yeah,
so I like,
yeah.
knew there would be a key, right?
Yep.
But it was like, but what it did was give concept for the story, like it being a doctor and then like him having a beast, right? And it like gave me a reason that at the beginning it's like kill the chomp chomp or chain chomp.
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Yeah.
And so it's like that's what I think it did really well, was like give
Yeah.
context for like a feel, you know what I mean? Good job on that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, everybody should play that.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun creating it. And so when you type in the URL, it goes to an unlisted video that's on the Super Switch Heads YouTube page.
Right.
So it takes you there and you can't find it. So you have to go use the URL that's in the game. But I wanted to give like a story to, like, the chain chomp is not a chain chomp in my story. It's actually, it's like a beast that the doctor created. And Lee and I were at the script on Saturday.
A lot of fun.
While we were eating wings, we ordered 30 wings. I just want to
I
remind
bet
you.
could, if there wasn't a 500-second limit on the levels, I bet you could do like a feature-length screenplay. And
Yes, that's exactly what I want to do.
Well, you could do it over the course of multiple levels.
Yeah, you
sort of
could.
1,
Yeah.
2, number them.
Yeah, keep up the story. I want to see where it
Yeah,
goes.
that's why we call it HasLab 1-1.
There you go.
Right, there you go.
Well, let's just talk about broadly creating then. One thing I've heard several people say is, I didn't know that I would know if I would like creating levels, but I do. I've heard a few people online say that. A couple people even in our group.
I'm pretty much in that camp, even though I had the first one.
And I was hopeful that I would like making levels. I thought I might, but it confirmed for me that presently might be my favorite part of the game. Is making.
Well, you like building Labo and stuff too.
Yeah, and I also like it. My kid really likes to do it with me, and he just likes to sit there with me and tell me what to do, and then I can kind of steer it in the right direction. Right. So it's a nice like thing for us. He's really into it, and also doing it with my 4-year-old has been great because he does not want to deliberate. You know, like I feel like a lot of people, you can look at that blank Mario stage and be like, I don't know what to do. He's like,
yeah,
start building things. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, okay. And then once you get started,
he always knows exactly what he wants to watch on Netflix.
Well, that's like something about being a 4-year-old that's great, and that you can learn from your kid is like you get a present or something. You know, you're like, oh, that's really nice. I'm gonna put that away and I'll play with, or I'll do that later. You know, a 4-year-old does not have they want to like open it now, do it now. Yeah. And it's the same thing with like a game.
You could be dead in 5 minutes.
They're very present. So it's like, why he gets frustrated sometimes that I want to play test the level over and over. He's like, stop play testing it, just build.
That's so funny. Damn. But that is a great part of why I think that people like building more than they thought they would, is being able to instantly jump in and play what you just did. It's like so often, like basically the first level I made, I think it's really fun. I'm actually pretty proud of that first level for like my first level. I made it fast, but it's sloppy, but the second one I really tried to put a lot more.
Yeah, your second level is great.
Yeah, thanks. I tried to put a lot more structure into it. I tried to theme it more. I would do lots of little tweaks, especially after I would watch people play. And so it's like, there would be a bit where, for like maybe 20 minutes, I'm like just moving single things, one tile over just to get the exact right angle of stuff that I want. You know what I mean? And the ability to do that like pretty much instantly is really awesome. And I think they did that. They nailed it.
That's nice that you were able to have people play test it. I think that's what we're talking about, is it'd be nice to have that and not have to pull your level down and put it back up and lose all your play history.
Mm-hmm. I guess we got to have playtest parties.
We should do that. Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. We should order wings.
Anything else I want to say right now about making levels before we move on?
I'll just say that, and this kind of, I guess, goes into a little bit the changes between 1 and 2, but I think that they didn't add like a ton on the original concept of building, right? There's a good number of new items like the switches and the swings and the seesaws and all that kind of stuff. A couple new bosses. But it's like even the small amount of stuff that they did add makes an infinite difference in the kinds of levels that you play, right?
What does that mean?
It's like, so like
the slopes, for example?
Yeah, like slopes, for instance. Like if they just added slopes, the game would already be like a huge amount different from Mario Maker 1, just because like adding in a tiny thing can like cascade into all these different gameplay things, right? And once they've added, it seems like 20 new items, maybe like total, including bosses and characters and
not
stuff.
Not to mention 3D World.
And that's not even counting 3D World. Like, and so just by doing that, like it's almost like it multiplies on itself. You know what I mean? It's like there's just the possibilities are even more endless than they were before, like by a factor of its own endlessness. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm like pretty high right now.
Yeah.
You're good.
To quote Carl Sagan, to create an apple pie, you must first invent the universe.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of. It's kind of what I'm talking about. Yeah. But anyway, I'm just really impressed by that. Like already the game feels very different just based on the content that fans are making. I just think that's pretty cool.
Well, there's so much to talk about here. I want to move on to the idea of playing levels. So there's, like we talked about finding the levels or putting codes for specific levels. There's this endless mode, and I kind of did want to talk about this versus the 100 Mario mode.
Go for it.
Because I didn't play the Wii U, but I watched a lot of people stream it. And I've played some endless, and I like endless, but I do wish we had the 100 Mario mode too.
Yeah, I wish
feel
you could
like
toggle.
Playing endless with 5 lives on normal. Like if you get a tough level at the beginning, I might need those 5 lives to figure out how to beat this level.
You don't need that on normal though, Patrick. You'll be fine.
I do, apparently. So like I found that a little bit frustrating. Like I wish I had 100 Marios, even if they were harder levels, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And just like 10 to get through and feel that sense of I beat those 10 levels. Yeah, you know what I mean?
I think they're putting a lot of stock into people wanting to beat their own high scores. You know what I mean? Which is like, I think, but since there's no real progression in this game, like there was in the last one with the amiibo costume, games, you don't get that same feeling.
I kind of hope that they add a mode, and we'll get into that. Like that's more like the 100 Mario mode, because I don't want to get rid of Endless, and they're not gonna. But
one thing I want to say on that real quick, and I know we've got a lot more to talk about, is like, I think that the thing I do like about Endless is that it gives you a reason to try to collect lives. Now, a lot more than you had to before. When you had 100 lives, you would breeze through normal, honestly. Like, I would beat expert most of the time, you know what I mean, with 100 Marios, right? And, you know, you'd be picking up some lives occasionally. But it's like in this one now, it like, you really want to grab more coins to get more lives, you know? And so it like gives makers an incentive to add in those kind of classic Mario elements.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I did also want to talk about the sort of the online co-op and online competitive and downloading for local co-op. So this game has that, which is a new from the last one. Did you guys mess around playing online co-op or online competitive? Right now you can't play with friends, which kind of sucks, but at least we know it's coming in a patch.
The whole thing is kind of unfortunate right now, I think, online multiplayer.
I had some lag when I played.
I had massive amounts of lag.
And I think in the co-op that didn't matter as much because we're all working towards the goal. But in the competitive, it felt frustrating when I made a jump that didn't land where I was expecting and I died. You know what I mean? It's like, well, that didn't feel like my fault. You know, it felt like the lag caused it.
I don't want to sound like an elitist prick, but like lag will not stand for me for a Mario game. Like I can't, I will not suffer lag in a Mario game. I'm sorry. It's just like the point of Mario is to be like pixel precise.
It's
with
a
your jumps
precision game, yeah.
You know?
And especially with the way people design some of these levels, you got to be precise. And I played some co-op that was fine. And I played one competitive that was not laggy. It was maybe just 2-player, and that might have helped. So I'm looking forward to the patch for friends, because I think if there's lag with that, I'll be more forgiving because it's with my friends. It might be less lag because we all have better internet.
Yeah,
and like, it'll just be a better experience.
If there is lag with friends, I'm not going to be playing online at all, pretty much. Like, just honestly. Like, it's just, like, so frustrating for me. Like, yeah. Anyway, what were you going to say?
I think I want to see just more, like, puzzle levels for co-op so that it's
Yes.
not, like,
That's
so dependent on, like, you know, precise jumps and stuff
That's
like
a good-
that.
yeah.
And there are some out there.
Yeah, I saw a few which are you set a ground like really high on the screen, and then you use a spring. You put a spring on top of Mario, and then Luigi jumps on the spring, and then Mario jumps, pushes the spring up, and Luigi jumps from the spring from Mario's head onto the high platform.
And there's a lot of stuff you can do like that. Like as a maker, creating a level for co-op that you couldn't do in the first one.
Yeah.
Whether it's for downloaded or online.
But the problem is that the game doesn't differentiate between the two.
Right,
It'll
right.
throw in single player and multiplayer into the multiplayer. I think that they should have a thing where if you're making a multiplayer level, you can really only make it for multiplayer.
That would be nice.
I think if
That
in the
would totally make
multiplayer
sense.
mode, I think if you're doing co-op, especially like, because I feel like I'm never going to see one of those levels because I haven't seen one of those yet.
Yeah.
and
You have
it's
to
like,
probably search for multiplayer.
but you can't search when you're doing
you're
multiplayer.
playing online
Yeah,
multiplayer.
exactly.
Right.
So it's like, and even then, when you're downloading the multiplayer thing, there's a lot of things I've done that's easily beatable by one person.
Right.
You know, and there's no multiplayer co-op tag, only multiplayer versus.
Right. It'd be there's something missing in the tagging there and
Yeah.
in the system, because like playing your level on stream, like that's not a
Right.
good level to play co-op.
I never expected anybody to play it co-op. So yeah, it was just like, okay, I mean, even if I was like play testing it as I was building it, like I can't play test it as
you
co-op
can't
to
play test co-op.
see what
Right.
it would be like.
So there's a list of problems there. I think mainly, I think another major problem with the multiplayer right now is that the only way that you can play multiplayer on one system is to download the stage to your system
Right.
and then play it through the core spot, which doesn't track anything, right? Like they need to add in the play
You can't
together
like a level
button
then,
on
too,
Course
then.
World. That just needs to be in Course World off to the side, because it's like I see no reason why not to. I mean, obviously it's like you can't count for records if you play with multiple people, but that's
okay.
fine.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I'm doing this to have fun with my friends,
Right.
not to like cheese the fucking ranking system. And
No, I don't think the request is unusual because any other like first person shooter has playlists for different types.
Yeah.
So you have your ranked playlist, you have
Unranked.
your social playlists, and specific audiences want to play that specific type of game.
Right. I mean, beyond even having me play online with my friends, the first thing I want them to add is me being able to play with someone on my own couch with levels that I'm just downloading on the go. In
Yes.
Course World.
Yeah.
While we're complaining, let's talk about the bad things. So I don't know if these are bad things for y'all or not. These are things the community has gotten upset about, and by the community I mean the broader community. 32 level limit right now for uploads, which is more than the Wii U game had. Right, they had 10 at the beginning.
Yeah, that'll change. But there's also more progression.
But
in the Wii U
less
version.
than you could eventually do, which was 100 if you got enough likes or stars or whatever it was in that game, which is like hearts in this game. So we'll see that. Did anybody care about that?
I'm not worried about it.
I'm not worried about it yet.
I mean, they're going to be continuously updating this.
It
even though they
might
haven't
be a
said.
good thing too right now that people can't just dump 100 crappy levels online.
Yeah,
That's true.
it's by design.
I want to go back to multiplayer a little
Oh,
bit.
sorry. I'm sorry for moving
No,
on
it's
too
okay.
quick.
Lee and I tried multiplayer creation. Have you guys tried this yet?
Oh no, I
To
haven't
have
done that yet.
because
Forgot about that,
Yeah,
yeah.
2 people can make a level.
How'd it go?
we tried it very briefly, as I remember.
Yeah, we spent like less than 5 minutes to do it.
Is there a reason you spent less than
It
5
was
minutes?
awkward, and different abilities are, blocked off for the individual
Like
controller.
one person can select the item menu via pressing the Y button.
Oh, the other person can't do that.
Right.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
So one
That
person
sucks.
chooses items, one person draws using the item.
So it's like one person is one half of the controller, and the other person's the other half of the
Yes.
controller.
that's-
Yeah,
Dang.
and I can see it, getting used to it, but at the same time, you're already learning one version with the touchscreen, then you're learning the second
Yes,
version with
which
the
is another
controls,
complaint.
and then a third version when you only have one controller. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, what were you going to say, Patrick?
Well, we should talk. I have one question. Can you play test with 2 people when you're playing with 2 people? Like, can you jump
I
in
don't
to
think we
play test?
even
I don't think we
tried.
tried.
That's a really good question.
But I
We should test
think
that
you
out.
can.
Oh, okay. Well, that would be the solution to that, but it's still you'd have to get another person.
Yeah.
But we were talking about complaints as well, and then you just hit it on another complaint, which is that there's no button control in handheld. And I had a little bit of I learned the button controls, and then I switched to handheld, and it just doesn't make. It's another one of those things that just doesn't make sense. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to do the same inputs.
Yeah, it's dumb. I think the main thing is because they had the directional stuff, like be able to select things. You know what I mean? Like in this, and I think they wanted to make that just for moving Mario, because moving around with the touch screen, where you're looking at on the stage is a little cumbersome. Like if you want to do it, you have to use a 2-finger swipe. You know what I mean? And so it's so I think I get why they did it. I do also think it's dumb. But
I think it's dumb.
But I also think it's just something that we're fumbling with at the beginning. I think that we're all going to get a lot better at all of these forms of making towards the end of
Yeah,
it.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Are you guys? I do want to ask: are you guys building mostly in handheld mode or on the TV?
I'm doing it mostly in handheld mode,
Yeah,
but
same.
we
Yeah.
were creating on the TV version when we were doing your level.
You're probably doing it on the TV because you're a kid, right?
I'm doing it on the. I was out of town, so I've done about half and half because
Okay.
I only had it handheld while I was out of town.
Right.
I've done about half and half.
Have any of you guys used a stylus yet?
I bought one, but I strangely have not tried it yet.
Yeah.
I haven't even tried one.
Man, get a stylus.
Does it help?
Actually, I have 10 styluses at my house. It came in a 10-pack
Wow.
on Amazon. It was $6. I will give each of you a stylus if you don't have one.
Yeah.
It's a game changer, dude. Like,
Is it really?
seriously, it's great. It feels so good.
Well, here's
It's
the
what
thing.
made it feel so good about the Wii U version. you
I
know?
bought one thinking, I wanted to have it for release. And then when I got to making it handheld, I just started using my finger and it was good enough.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but good
so
enough
I didn't
isn't
break
good
it
enough
out.
for me, all right?
Yeah.
You gotta-
I feel when I'm using my finger that my left thumb is pressing on the touch screen, and so I'm trying to draw a shape, but it's not letting me draw, and that's because my
Right.
thumb is touching the screen.
It's zooming in. or
Yeah,
something.
it's not on the Joy-Con; it's on the screen.
Yeah.
That's a really bad habit.
You guys, there's so much I want to talk about, and we're running out of time. I do want to cover a
Let's
couple
just do a
quick things.
2-hour episode. on that.
I do want to cover a couple quick things. The YouTube streaming element of this game, and this was such a big part of the first game, and why I was so excited about this one is I've spent a lot of time watching people play this game, and I have actually at work when I'm doing stuff when I can, I swear. I've had people streaming Mario Maker 2. Those people are fucking insanely good at this game. Like I've been watching, there's a guy I really like to watch who's French Canadian called Chronoside, and then I've also watched Grand Pooh Bear and some of the other big ones.
The Kaizo Mario guys.
Yeah, the guys that
Yeah,
just
yeah.
play these levels where you're grabbing items, and then they're make Panga.
They're speedrunners. Like
Right.
Pooh Bear was at.
Yeah, he was one of the
at
guys there.
GDQ. Yeah.
And they make levels for each other that are in fucking sane.
Yeah.
And watching them play these levels, and also they're just dedication to it too, because they just have to figure it out as they go on. Oh, it's really entertaining.
It's
and
popping
that's
off just as much as it was before.
It's
and
such
even
a-
more so because everybody has a Switch now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's such a big part of
I can
this.
wrap my head around it if this game had been out for a longer time.
Right,
It's only
right.
been out for less than a week, and they're already like acing these complicated levels.
and
It's
the 3D
incredible.
world elements too. Like I was watching Grand Pooh Bear play like a 3D world level where they're kicking stuff into clear pipes and then catching it on the other side of the clear pipe and stuff. It's just nuts. And I just wanted to mention that that's such a big part of the game.
I really like this next thing you have on here, if you wouldn't mind me grabbing this.
Oh, take it.
The creator of Celeste, Matt Thorson from Matt Makes Games, somebody noticed recently on his Twitter, he's been tweeting codes to Mario Maker stages, and I've been playing them, and they're just as hard as Celeste and just as fun. And it's
That's awesome.
And so then that got me into like looking up like if other developers have been, posting levels, and a ton of them have. And I actually found there's like a post on the Mario Maker subreddit, just like there's like it wasn't even a post, it was like in a comment talking about Matt Thorson's making levels, and it was just a list of all these other indie devs, and I started downloading all their courses and playing, and man, they're fucking fun. So it's like I'm really looking forward to seeing like professional game level designers like taking on this
And
game.
that didn't really happen with the first Mario Maker that I know of, right?
Not so much.
That's because that's what's so great about the Switch
Yeah.
being popular and
But
everybody
a
having
little
it.
shout out to Davey Redden, Austin developer. I see you on there. I played your level. It's fucking hard. It's guys on stage. It's got like a 0.1% clear rate.
I was going to say one mechanic that blew my mind that Lee and you and I were talking about is so you can make music using the music blocks.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how this works, or how you change the tone of a note, but each item, like each, or a character or an enemy plays a different note when it hits a music block,
Yeah, exactly.
which is insane.
Yeah, that was DLC for Mario Maker 1. That was like free DLC they added. Like
That's
into the
it's
game.
so cool how that works.
So we've just been watching these YouTube videos of like the little conveyor belt, like taking people along the screen, and just things like dropping or like people can compose music or like their favorite song or like another track from another video game.
Yeah, I saw a Kirby one.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It's great, and it's like it just is. And this is something I think we've maybe brought up before, but just Mario Maker is the spiritual successor to Mario Paint.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like all this shit is from Mario Paint. Like there's all these sound effects from it. Like the main theme, the course bot music is from Mario Paint. Like it's just got that weird, wacky Japanese-ness that was, all in that game. And I love seeing that.
And I love that from Mario Paint that the baby sound effect is that.
It's so creepy.
Two more things I want to cover before we move on or close out this section. Sorry, this is so long. We covered a lot of the complaints about the game. There's just the general online complaints are there. Like, why can't I just see y'all's creator profiles? Because you're my friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
why can't I just see y'all's levels when you upload them? Because
Yeah.
you're my friends.
But you can if you follow them.
Yeah,
Seriously.
And
If
I have
Yeah.
followed everyone that I can, but it's
Yeah.
just kind of like that sort of like why. Hopefully, maybe some of that will come with if they add the online with friends. We'll actually have some friend things on there.
Import friends.
So I'm hopeful about that. We'll see what happens. But then I also kind of want to just open it up for our closing thing, unless there's anything else y'all want to talk about first, about sort of the future of the game and what we think. Like, the first game got some updates. Is there anything? We know that friend update is coming. What else might come with that?
I feel like we know another style is coming.
Yeah, there's they said it says extra styles. There's that big blank spot. Maybe nothing will come, but what do y'all think about that? Will there be any free or paid DLC? And what are you hoping for? Anything?
You would think there would be. I mean, the game is so popular, it seems like already. And, with the Switch having such a larger user base and considering the Wii U had several updates, it seems like inevitable. I don't know what the extra style will be, but my vote is for the Game Boy.
Okay.
And I want to see the little submarine for Mario.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
they added in the Super Ball Mario from Super Mario Land. Like
Yeah.
he's in there, and it plays the Game Boy, the Super Mario Land theme whenever you are all black and white and everything. So it's like, at least that's in it now, But yeah, I think we're going to be seeing updates within a month, honestly, to this game. Like I think because like
The
they
friend
did this
update?
Splatoon model of basically like shipping it as it was, and then constantly just adding little bits, right? And like I said, every time you add a little bit, it changes the whole game. Like the bouncy green things that you bounce off of,
Those donut things? Is that
those
what
weren't
you're
in the
talking about?
original game. That was added like down the line. Like so much stuff. Like the red coins were added down the line. Like multiple checkpoints was added down. I think just checkpoints in general were added down the line. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of stuff coming out for this for free. They're doing the Splatoon form of releasing this game.
Yeah, I feel like we'll get. You can only use checkpoints if there's a certain type of completion, but I think we might get checkpoints when connected with other kill the enemies or don't jump style completions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be interesting.
That'd be cool.
You can't hit the checkpoint until you get 120 coins or something.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
that'd be cool.
Like right now, you can only use checkpoints with one type of completion, which is reach the end.
right.
But if it's like collect all the coins or don't jump or destroy all the enemies of this type, you can't use checkpoints.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that doing a fully 3D Mario Maker would ever be A, feasible, or B, fun to do?
That'd be crazy.
It'd be fun to do, but feasible. I mean, probably feasible, right?
I've seen somebody like make their own version online, and it with the Mario like 64 style stuff, but it was still like really low res, like the original Mario.
I mean,
64.
we have Minecraft and like
true.
a Dragon Quest Builders.
Yeah.
It seems like maybe it's a little ways off, but it's like in the same way that this was developed as a tool for them to make 2D Mario, maybe in,
Mario Maker 3.
right, like maybe, right, like maybe because technology is, exponential, like maybe in 10 years they'll have a tool to make 3D.
I think we'll see it eventually,
environments.
but I do think it's in a sequel. I don't think it's gonna be coming
yeah.
out in this game. But but you guys were talking about, we have the precedent for it. We also have Toy-Con VR Garage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which let you build 3D environments and characters within
good point.
within Labo. So it's like Nintendo has already fucked around with letting plebes make 3D stages. So
Wait, is Labo going to come to Mario Maker? 'Cause
No,
they did it with a lot of other games.
Maybe they'll do VR.
they should. Yeah. Dude, Mario Maker VR would be so tight.
There's one game style that I want.
What's that?
Town.
And with that, is there
We're
anything
done.
else y'all want to talk about? For
I
Mario
just love
Maker?
it so much.
It is so good.
There's a couple things I'm missing from the original game. I wish the 100 Mario Challenge was an option.
Yeah. I hope they give us another
I
mode
think
like
the
that.
main thing, the main disappointments though with this game, honestly, other than the amiibo thing, I really do miss that. The things that I mainly am upset by are because of things that they've added to this game that have disappointments with them.
Right.
So it's not like I'm like super pissed that they like removed anything massive from the first game. It's still new shit, so it's hard to like. You feel like kind of like entitled and like a little bitch. Like when you're like, oh, but it has laggy online. It's like, well, I didn't even have online before. So like, why am I complaining? I'm still having just as much fun. You know what I mean? And so it's like,
But it's 2019, and they should write better netcode.
of course, no,
and
I
have better
agree with
Wi-Fi
you.
chips. And
That's
all
just
Right.
the dilemma I found myself in when complaining about this game.
That makes sense.
Lee,
It's
any
fantastic.
other closing thoughts for
Yeah.
you about Super Mario Maker 2?
I'm having fun with it in ways that I just truly didn't expect to be having fun with it. I mean, I think with your idea, that was super original. I'm also seeing super original ideas from other people for like kind of puzzle levels and stuff. I mean, I'm compiling a playlist right now of like things that like blow my mind, and we'll share with friends at some point. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to play your next level, Lee. I really
thanks.
liked your first one.
And I just want to say, just for the podcast listeners, I only just realized you're wearing Mario socks.
Yeah, man,
during
it's
this entire
Mario. It's
episode.
Mario Maker. I'm wearing my Mario shirt, my Mario socks.
It's really nice. You always come dressed for the episode, which no one will ever appreciate.
Also, if you're a listener, please join our Facebook group.
Yeah.
And by please, I mean pretty please.
Yeah.
and we're sharing each other's level codes.
Yeah, I want to do a post on Instagram or our Facebook page with some of the codes for these levels.
That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
let's do that.
Like some of the stuff we've collected from the group so far. And so you guys can play some of our levels. Give us a follow, check out our shit. And if you have some levels that you want to see us play or you want to hear us talk about, like seriously, send us your codes. I'd love to play your stages
Yeah,
if you're a fan.
and I know Switch Head's two kids in a big coat Chris and Chaz, they also been playing Mario Maker 2.
Yeah.
On
So
their
your level
stream.
could get played on a stream.
Yeah.
Exactly. Send them in. They'll play them, and they are affiliates of Super Switch Heads.
Yeah.
I know we've all been playing Mario Maker 2. Is there any other games any of y'all been playing you want to talk about?
I'll quickly go. There is a Spider-Man VR experience for the new movie that came out, and it's
just an experience.
Yeah, it's just an experience. It's not made by a game designer. It's probably made by some commercial company. But you can swing in VR, and it's pretty fucking cool.
Does it make you sick?
It does make me nauseated. I'm just thinking
That's
about
what
it.
I want out of a game.
Also,
Go ahead.
I was going to say I installed a Wii U emulator, so I've been playing Breath of the Wild in 1440 and been skinning it and playing instead of having a Link. I'm playing as Cloud.
It's pretty badass.
And so it's so fucking cool.
It's so funny to me too because I'm looking over here at your two amiibo that are right here, and it's Link and Cloud.
Yeah, you get it exactly.
That's cool.
But seeing like Breath of the Wild at like 144 hertz, it's like so smooth and slick. Eventually, when we get a 4K Nintendo system and we get the remastered Breath of the Wild,
It's going to be amazing.
it's gonna be fucking amazing.
Especially when you can play as Bowsette.
Yeah.
I've just been playing Katamari Damacy Reroll
nice.
for
Oh, yeah.
Switch,
Great game.
and yeah, it's even better than I remember. That's all I have to say about that. I love the Switch.
I wish I had more to report. I was just looking at my Switch, seeing if there's anything I've been playing. Really, no. I've pretty much mostly been playing this game. I think I played a little bit more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I was playing that with my sister and my girlfriend, actually. They were both over, and we were all doing the voices, which was really fun. But then I think they all got really frustrated by, like, sometimes when they just give you the answer to stuff. And they were like, why do all these anime girls have such huge titties? And it's like, yeah, well, it's, it's just... It's Japan, baby. That's kind of what they do over there. Anyway, but so that's pretty much it. But yeah, I've been playing a bunch of people's levels, and I've been like seeking out levels. You know what I mean? So send in some shit. I'd love to play your stuff.
I had to build the submarine for Labo, the vehicle Labo kit, because we got to a challenge that needed it, and my son, I had to do it stressful again. Him climbing on me and like build it, and I'm like, ah. But that's been fun.
Do you love your kid?
I do. I do very much. I get frustrated. Having a 4-year-old's great. And
Love is
terrible.
a battlefield.
But
Life is a highway.
But once it was built, we're having a lot of fun playing that. And I'm trying to finish up Octopath Traveler. I've been playing that when I've not connected to the internet.
Yeah.
You'll be saying that 6 years from now.
I'm actually very close. I'm on the last chapter 4.
Oh my God.
So there is the like post. I'm trying to beat it before Fire Emblem comes out because that'll be my next big RPG. So I'm doing this, you guys.
Three Houses comes out in like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When that comes out, I'm switching to that. So
Yeah, and then you'll play more Octopath out there.
maybe.
Cool. Well, yeah, I guess that's everything for this episode. That was one hell of an episode, guys.
Yeah.
Did you feel good about that, Lee?
That's
You
some
have-
hype
I
shit.
feel great.
Yeah. Very good. Well, I'm looking forward to playing your next stage. Let me know when it's done.
Yeah,
And
yours
good
too.
job to both of you on that collab.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that.
Yeah.
I don't feel like too much got spoiled. So.
Yeah. That fucking great game. Everybody play it. Thanks so much. Do you want to say the normal things we say?
Thanks
at
to
the end?
Corduroy for the music. Thanks to everybody for listening. Find us online. We are Super Switchhead. Send us an email, all that kind of stuff. Tweet at us. Join the Facebook group, the Discord, whatever, especially right now with Mario Maker 2. Online, I am PDYX.
You can find me on Twitter at Matthew, MATHYOU.
I am at Monolith Fiji everywhere on the internet.
And on Mario Maker 2, I am Pizza Cat.
Oh,
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
unfortunately, they can't search by username.
They are-
Oh, wow, that's my complaint. Add it to the complaints
But
list.
there are unique names, though. Like, you apparently,
Yeah.
but you can't search by name.
But you can change them. You can change them at any point. Anyway, join our Facebook group, Switchheads, all caps with a Z at the end. We're sharing levels like crazy. We got a pinned post at the top where we're all sharing stages. Join that up.
Go join right now.
You join right now. If you're driving, pull over or crash and do it.
Yeah. I know all of our listeners drive Teslas. Put that shit in autopilot.
But
and join our group.
autopilot. Oh my god! All right. Anyway, join our Facebook group. It's going to be awesome. You're going to love it, and you're not going to regret it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a great episode next week. We've got a very special guest. Until then, we love you very much, everybody. Good night. We love you. Bye bye.